Oh no, I never work with children actors because they're monkeys, you know. It's terrible because after one film or one, especially the one who've been in any way close to a television set, they're the worst. Because they learn the tricks. They don't really learn. I mean, this is very unfair of me because I'm sure there are wonderful exceptions. But for some reason, it's a lot easier. So when you start casting with a film with children, you see, like when I started Au Revoir Les Enfants, I said, well, let's see what there is, you know. Let's see the, you know, adolescents, 12-year-old who've been in films or television recently. So that's where I spent my first week. And I was essentially horrified. I mean, because they were just, you know, it's almost sad because I don't think it's right for a child to do it professionally. So what I'm trying to find, it's the same for Murmur of the Heart, Zazie, La Combe Lucien, even Pretty Baby. Brooke Shields was unknown then. But what I was doing with these, I needed as I said, some remarkable children. So I started working with you know, a group of casting people, you know, 3 girls who were great, and we tried to define in which direction we should go. We knew it would be a long process because altogether it took 5 months. And basically, this is a very boring technique. It means you advertise, you put you know, little articles or even ads in the magazines and the, you know, the radio stations and the television program that those particular children you suppose are watching. You ask them to get in touch, to send photos, and you know, it's a selection process which takes forever and is actually quite boring. But what happens, you know, well, you have to believe that. If not, you're in big trouble. Eventually, you're going to meet somebody who's going to be stunning. And I remember very well that a short while after we started in Paris, we had decided that we would limit our research to Paris and certain lycées and certain schools because we wanted children with a certain background. Well, it was, you know, arbitrary, but we had to limit the field. And eventually the girls and even I myself, we went, you know, the outside lycées and schools with video cameras, and we were really sort of voyeurs and we had problems with you know, school principals, and it's a weird occupation. And eventually, I remember that about 1 month into after the start, they called me and they said, I think we found a terrific kid. And that was the boy who plays Julien. And he came on his own. He'd read about it and he came, and right away we felt there was something about him that was quite unusual or quite remarkable. He was extremely poised. He was very smart. He was slightly arrogant. He was very fast, very quick, like, you know, like Quicksilver. He was incredible. Couldn't stay in the same place for 2 seconds, and everything about him was, I thought, that's when you get very cautious because, you know, this is too good. And of course, what I had in mind all the way was that I was never going to choose one before I had the other one. It was crucial that the chemistry between the two would work, and they had to be interesting, you know, next to each other. So I started, you know, working on Gaspard. We started discussing with his parents His mother was a teacher, both his parents teachers, very remarkable people. So it was great luck, and he was very good in school, so it was not going to be too difficult to get him out of school for 2 months. And then it took us forever to find the other one. And I saw the moment, I told the production people, I'd said, listen, I know we have to start at the latest at the end of January because winter is so important that if not, we have to wait 1 year. And but at about mid-December, just before Christmas, I'd not found yet the boy to play Bonnet, and I told him in advance. I said, if I don't find these two boys and I'm not feel completely safe and enthusiastic about them, I would rather postpone, which would have been a disaster, of course. And it's just really around Christmas time that Raphael came, or one of the girls found him. He came, and that was completely different because that's what's interesting. When Gaspard, the boy who plays Julien, came into the casting office, I knew almost right away that he was going to be in the film. I was hoping that he would, almost instantly. The other one, it took me 2 weeks to make up my mind, and even until the first week of shooting, I was afraid I'd committed a terrible mistake, because it was very much in character, because there was something about him that was very closed and very introverted, and he was quite shy, although he was also incredibly arrogant. Which seems to be a quality that I like, and he, but he was, and he was not so crazy about the idea of, of being involved. He was very laid back, and I remember what I always do. I keep taping them all the time. I'm always with my little video, 8mm video, and I keep, taping them all the time. When I talk to them, when we go for lunch, it's boring for them, but I keep doing that because I'm always trying to look at a lot of footage on them to see, because what they look in real life is interesting, but there's always something that happens on the screen which sometimes is completely different. And there's this strange mystery of what's called screen presence, which makes people that you think are terrific in life, or they give you a great reading, and then you make a test and you see there's nothing going on the screen, and you don't even know why. There's no explanation. It's just this very mysterious quality that certain people have and certain people don't have. And whether you're an actor or not is not the point. Great stage actors for some reason don't do anything on the screen, and then you pick somebody in the street and he's going to be great immediately, and you don't. So that's why I do a lot of shooting, and at some point with Raphael, the boy who plays Bonnet, I saw a moment where he was quite extraordinary. His eyes and something really, like there was a curiosity and sort of looking at the camera, like if asking something that I thought were absolutely right. And then I kept working, and of course what I'd done in the meantime was to put the two of them together. We worked on scenes. We did, it was endless. And actually, after that, when I started shooting, we had 1 week of rehearsal. The classroom with all the kids in the class in costume, with the camera and the dollies and everything, and like if we were shooting. Actually, we were shooting, but it was not the real shooting. So to get them used to it, and during that time, I kept thinking, my God, is it going to work? And I could see that it was working. And then the rest of the time, which was 10 weeks of shooting, it was just easy. I mean, you know, easy. It's not never easy with children because you always have to adjust. And the great thing about children, I have to say, which makes you always very humble. And it's, for instance, because they're not professional actors, they're not going to be able to give you something that they don't have. Or if there's something wrong in the dialogue of a scene, for instance. So that's why I always have lots of readings. And I usually adjust the dialogue, because hearing the dialogue, and I know that, you know, actors would tell you, oh, don't worry, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it differently. Let me try it this way. You know, actors are always, they love to do that too, you know, you know, we'll find a way, which is very dangerous. But with kids, if it sounds wrong, it's like, you know, it's like music. If it sounds out of tune, you have to change it.